When planning the film Jurassic Park, legendary director Steven Spielberg was keen on giving the dinosaurs an awe-inspiring presence, whether it be one full of dread or amazement. Before arriving on the island, much of the movie is shot in a very doled-out way to lull the audience before the main action. However, once the characters arrive and witness their first dinosaur, there is much more attention to detail. All of this is aided by the incredible mixing of practical and CGI effects that hold up to modern-day standards. Before the scene begins, the characters have started the Jurassic Park tour skeptical but excited nonetheless. However, they grow bored as they repeatedly do not spot any dinosaurs within their enclosures. A heavy storm begins to pour down on the island, forcing the tour to end early. However, the Jeeps are unable to fully retreat because the storm has knocked out the power. Furthermore, the electric fences have been disabled in an act of sabotage by the only programmer on the island. Right off the bat, it is clear that the T-Rex is huge. Even at this initial long shot, which has one of the Jeeps positioned closer to the camera than the dinosaur, the Rex takes up most of the frame. This massive sense of scale is largely in part to Spielberg's choice to use a 1.85 by 1 aspect ratio, allowing for much more vertical space in each frame. The additional space makes the large dinosaurs look even larger.
Boy, do I hate being right all the time.
Here, the scale of the Rex becomes even more clear. The camera is placed at eye level behind the two characters in the car, as if it were in it with them, and the T-Rex towers over. The camera does a small zoom, too, as if to get a better look, or alternatively to draw attention to the building anxiety in the two characters who remain out of focus.
Keep absolutely still. This vision's based on movement.
Did you see that? As the T-Rex bumped into the car, the camera shook with it. This small addition aids immersion immensely. At this point, the audience saw and heard the T-Rex, but it hasn't interacted with anything physically. Bumping the Jeep and having the camera shake adds to the realism of the scene. The T-Rex has more presence this way. This works especially well as the T-Rex is an animatronic for this portion of the scene. Notice how the T-Rex leaves the scene as a practical effect and re-enters as CGI. Spielberg does this to avoid problems with the effects and its realism. When the T-Rex is close, practical effects are much more believable to the human eye. When it's further away, CGI does a better job. Notice the low-angle shot that puts both the T-Rex and the kid above the camera. Spielberg is boxing us, the audience, into the Jeep with them, but now we're going to stay here, where the Rex towers over us and has all the power. The camera tracks the T-Rex's movements as it inspects the car, moving as if it were a human head. The camera lags behind the Rex's movements too, as if it doesn't know where to look because of the size of the animal and the threat that it presents. The camera alternates between close-ups of the characters' faces to show the growing horror and panic, and acting as its own person, shaking ducking down as T-Rex roars at the car. By having it move this way, it captures both the characters and gives the audience a sense of horror as well. Now the camera is staying out of the car briefly. We're given a bit of the T-Rex's perspective, and it makes its next move very obvious. The Rex comes crashing through down onto them. Extreme close-ups are given to both the characters and the T-Rex to reflect the utter intensity of being attacked by the dinosaur.